Hello and welcome to today's assembly. I hope you had a really good first week back and are really enjoying all the new work that you're going to be doing for this summer term. Now, as you know, our new value for this half term is collaboration. And collaboration means working together as part of a team, usually towards a shared goal. And it's really important, that bit about working as part of a team. Now, in the assembly last week, led by Mrs. Oldfield, she talked to you about the skills that you need to make sure that collaboration is successful. Can you remember what they were? Just have a discussion with the people next to you and in your class and see if you can come up with a list of the skills that you needed. I'm not going to go through them again now. What I am going to do is when I see you around school or when I see you in the dining hall, I'm going to ask you what skills you need to be successful when you are collaborating with others, and particularly what your part needs to be in order to be successful when we're working as part of a team. Now, how can we show that we belong to a team? So have a look at the picture here of some children playing football. How do we know who belongs to a team, and why do you think it's important, particularly in that instance there? Why is it important that we know who's part of which team? Have a chat with the people in your class about it. Okay, so it's really important, isn't it, when you're playing a game or a sport, to know which team is which, and you can see that by the uniform that they are wearing. So you know who you're going to pass the ball to, which direction that you're playing in, and particularly where you're going to score your goal. So it's really, really important that you can identify members of your team. And here, have a look here. What job do you think this person does? And how do you know? Okay, so think about what she's wearing and also think about what she's carrying. Okay, and what sort of team do you think that she's a part of? Okay, and here we have our head boy and our head girl in year 6. Now, our uniform shows that you are a part of the Forest Academy team. So wear your Forest Academy sweatshirt with pride, because it not only shows us in school that we're part of a team, when you go outside, out into the public and the wider world, it also shows you which team you are part of. And that's really important, particularly when you were going out on trips before the lockdowns and school partial closures, because so often we would get phone calls or emails from members of the public telling us how fantastically behaved and how polite and how interested you were when you went out on school trips. So it was really important for people to know, just by looking at your uniform, that where you went to school and that you were wearing it with pride. And you know, it was really, really wonderful that you were such fantastic ambassadors for the school. So make sure you wear that sweatshirt with pride. Now today, I'm going to share a story with you, and it's about a mission called Apollo 13, which was a mission to go to the moon from America. And the story is called The Successful Failure. Now, it's not a story, actually, it's a true happening. But you're probably thinking to yourselves, oh, Mrs. Wray, why on earth are you talking about a successful failure? Well, you will see as we go through the story why it's important, but also about the part that collaboration played in making sure that when things go wrong, they go wrong well. And that's a really important skill in life, is that when things go wrong, you need to be able to manage them properly and positively. And collaboration is a big part of that. So on the 11th of April, 1970, now, who can tell me, got some maths coming up here, how long ago was 1970? Okay, so nearly a year after the first man landed on the moon, 3 more men went up into space. Their names were James Lovell, Fred Swigert, and John Hayes. And they were on a mission also to land on the moon, as people had done the year previously. Who can tell me what the year was before 1970? And here they are, the 3 astronauts. Now, they blast off into space, and at first, everything seemed fine. They had a successful rocket launch and were preparing to be the next set of people to land on the moon. However, unfortunately, not everything went to plan, and an oxygen tank exploded and damaged the space rocket. Now, there was no way that they could continue with the mission safely with that oxygen tank exploding. So they were told by the team supporting them back on Earth that they need to abort the mission, which means to end it. They couldn't carry on with it, couldn't continue, and they were told that they had to head back to Earth. Now, they had to save energy to make sure that they had enough to get home. So they had to agree that there was going to be no heating and no lighting. Now, the collaboration comes in because they all had to work together to make sure that nobody put the heating on and nobody put the lighting on, and to help to keep each other warm and to support each other when there was no lighting because it was very dark. So they had to really work together as a team to make sure that they could still function safely and operate to make sure that they would be able to head back to Earth safely. But because of the damage, they couldn't be sure that the rocket was going to make it safely through the Earth's atmosphere. Now, when a rocket goes out into outer space and then comes back to Earth, the most dangerous part of the mission is when it is coming through the Earth's outer atmosphere and heading back into Earth's atmosphere. That is the most dangerous time. So they were worried that they weren't be able to make it safely, but also the team who were supporting them back on Earth at NASA were very worried also that they weren't going to be able to make it through the re-entry. But somehow they did, and a parachute appeared, and there was a huge celebration as the command module, we'll see what the command module is, just a small part of the rocket, splashed down into the Pacific Ocean. And Navy helicopters rescued the astronauts from the sea and took them back to safety. And they'd been in space for nearly 7 days. And there we have the command module. So it's a little tiny part of the rocket that had landed safely in the Pacific Ocean. And there's the Navy helicopter coming to rescue the astronauts after their failed mission. So failed as in they didn't manage to get to land on the rocket, but they successfully managed to safely bring back all of the people back to Earth. Now, here we have somebody who is doing some drawing. I wonder if anybody can tell me where that is. Now, when we talk about the Forest Academy team, who are the members of the Forest Academy team? Just have a discussion amongst yourselves to think about that. So it's not just the children. So we have the children who are learning. We have all the members of staff, plus we have all the parents and carers and all the other people that work towards making Forest Academy the best place that it can be, so that all of you children can learn the best that you can and also develop into full, well-rounded citizens. They can participate in the world successfully. Now, to make sure that we hear your views and opinions, we have the junior leadership team. And one of the things the junior leadership team told us was that coming back into lockdown, you wanted to have more opportunities to use the outdoor space well. We are very, very lucky at Forest that we have those wonderful extensive grounds. We've got the fields, we've got access to the forest, we've got large playgrounds and lots of little places where people can do some quiet activities. And that's what you wanted, more quiet activities. So working together with the junior leadership team, so you've given your views to your representatives, they came and spoke to the leaders in the school, and you will notice now that out in the playground, we've got opportunities for colouring. We've seen some wonderful opportunities of children all collaborating, working together, working in small areas. So here we have somebody who's doing some colouring, who chose to do it on her own, but the collaboration comes in where all the materials have been put together. So children are working together to keep the materials together, to put them out, to collect them, put them back, to make sure that they are provided for those who want to use them. And there have also been lots of games out in the playground. So I've seen children playing snakes and ladders and drafts and Connect Four, sitting on the picnic benches. We've also moved some seating areas out into the Key Stage 1 playground so that there's places for people to sit at tables if they don't want to be on the ground. So that collaboration is working together to share views and opinions and ideas, and then to put them into practice so that they are successful. So this young lady was very happy to be able to do some colouring elsewhere in the playground. We've also got quiet reading areas, making use of the outdoors and the lovely weather that's coming. And more children working together colouring. So they were colouring on their own, but they were talking and discussing their ideas. So alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. And this is a quote from somebody called Helen Keller. I'm setting you another challenge because I want you to tell me who Helen Keller is. That's your question. Who is Helen Keller? And I'm going to be asking you as I walk around the school. So let's collaborate this half term, really make sure that we are working together, supporting each other, listening carefully and sharing our ideas so that we can be the best that we can all be. Thank you very much for listening.